Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Manchester United versus Everton preview and Ruben Amorim press conference. Now, once again, apologies I'm late. I've just been watching the Minerals FC make a huge announcement on his YouTube channel that he is moving over to Rumble, which is huge news, but I don't blame him because he's been getting a lot of crap on YouTube recently. But big up to every single one of you who's live and locked in. Much appreciated. Tonight we're going to do my Manchester United versus Everton preview. Well, technically, is it at Goodson Park or Old Trafford? I have to check. But anyway, I think it's best doing the preview and the press conference reaction together. So, and also we will react to Mark Goldbridge's interview to what he did on Alex Goldberg's channel or something. Hang on, just sending a message. There we go. That's that done. Bash. There we go. Big up to every single one of you live and locked in though. Much appreciated. The game against Everton, just need to check to see. I think it's at home, isn't it? Let's have a look. So, like, tomorrow scores. Yes, it is. So I did get it right. It is Manchester United versus Everton at Old Trafford. Kick-off time in the UK, 1:30 p.m. Now, this is the lineup I'll go with. In goal, I'll play Andre Onana. Right back, Diego Dalot. Then the centre-backs probably be De Ligt, Martinez, and then Mascherari would go into there. It's probably going to be Casemiro as well, Ericsson, Ahmad, and then the captain, number 8, Garnacho, and then possibly number 10 up front or Rasmus Højlund up front. So yes, that's the lineup I go with now. Everton will be a tricky game because, they are literally not doing too bad in the moment. They had a bit of a shaky start, but they have improved recently. So that will be a bit of a test for Manchester United. I'm not going to lie. Hopefully, we can get over the line and win the game. My score prediction is I'm going with a 2-1 victory to Manchester United. I still think it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but hopefully we can get over the finishing line and get all 3 points. And hopefully Ruben Amorim can win this game. Of course, first Premier League game at Old Trafford, so you expect the crowd to be fully behind Ruben Amorim. I definitely will be as well. I'll get to chat in a second, guys. But, we're up against Daddy Dyche, Sean Dyche. Well, my Everton have been playing absolutely abysmal sometimes. It's not good enough by the Toffees. There's Sean Dyche there. But Somerset style. But, it should be a good game of football. But like I said, Everton will be very tough to break down. They really will. But, let's wait and see what happens in the game. But hopefully we got enough in our locker to get over the line. Because, come on, man, we should be beating Everton at home. No excuses whatsoever. Let's get the narrative right here, people. But big up to every single one of you who's live and locks in this evening. Much appreciated. If you're new to our YouTube channel, why not consider hitting the subscribe button, as I upload plenty of Manchester United's content on here. And make sure you're subscribing to my football channel, F1 channel. Links are in the description of this video. And also, I've pinned on top of the live chat my channel membership. So if you wish to become a channel member today, I have a level 1 and level 2 membership, and it will help fund the channel. So level 1 is $1.99 a month, level 2 $4.99 a month. So basically you can find all the information pinned on top of the live chat, and it's in the description to this video as well. But, Manchester United, I just hope we give Everton a good game, not play rubbish, because against Bodo Glimt, we were absolutely fucking abysmal. Let's get the narrative right here, people, yeah? We were shambolic. There are no excuses for that performance whatsoever. Let's get it right here, yeah? That was absolutely embarrassing. I couldn't care less that we got all 3 points in that game. I was absolutely steaming at the highest level. But Mr. Joshy J, just be happy you won the game, Mr. Joshy J. No, I will not be happy, because that performance was shocking. No excuses whatsoever. We will get on to Ruben Amorim's press conference in a second. But let's have a look at some comments. It's at Old Trafford because you play Arsenal. I know, heartbreaking F1 fans, CSC 1905. Can't believe Johnny's left YouTube. Sucks, doesn't it, mate? Oh my goodness me. Max got 1 second penalty today and race tomorrow. Football terrorist is being deluded once again, and he thinks Arsenal scared me. That's a joke. It's at Old Trafford because you play Arsenal next to the Emirates. Yep. Thanks, Zane. Thanks for that, mate. But yeah, shame. Real shame that Johnny left YouTube. It really is. But, at the end of the day, who can blame him? Because all these brown envelopes are literally attacking him and that. So, wow, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. It's just like, I don't blame him. Unbelievable. Wow. But, it's like, you put your heart and effort into your YouTube channel, but yeah, people are trying to get you cancelled. Not sustainable, you ask me. So I can see where Johnny's coming from. I really can. Wow, unbelievable. Unbelievable. But, it's sad, but let's hope he lands it on Rumble, yeah? Absolutely land it. Johnny is one of the most honest YouTubers out there, but he doesn't get appreciated. How is he on 12.9k subscribers? Where have all his subscribers gone? The brown envelopes, mate. The brown envelopes keep attacking him and bringing him down, so this is why he's had enough. That's why he's moving over to Rumble. So who can blame him? I'm fully behind him. Because at times YouTube can be bloody frustrating, I'm not going to lie. It's like YouTube just does not care about its users. This is the thing. I say, yeah. But why are you on YouTube then, Mr. Joshy J? Because I like YouTube. But why are you criticising it? Just because I'm on the platform doesn't mean it's immune from criticism. At the end of the day, if YouTube gets it wrong, I will call them out. And what they're doing to Johnny is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace, honestly. Shocking. I'm feeling so down after that. It generally hurts me. But at least you can still enjoy him on Rumble, mate. I've not created a Rumble account yet, but I might do, so I can carry on watching Johnny and that. Well, Rumble, basically, it's another social media website, another video sharing website, but you don't have so much restrictions on there. You can literally say as many swear words on there as you like, and you won't even be demonetized. Nope, not one bit. Hang on, I'll just copy it. You can check it out yourself. Where's it? Here we go. I'll share it. Share it in the live chat. Copy link. More. There we go. Just made an account just for him. Oh, awesome. That's awesome, mate. Right. Hang on, let's post it into my live chat. So you can check it out yourself, 9914 to my live. Oh, don't want to be hearing myself again. There you go, mate. Check it out yourself. Did someone port him on YouTube? There's so many people been trying to shut him down, mate, but he's still here, landing the minerals. But he's had enough of YouTube. He's going to Rumble, mate. Let's get the narrative right here. Right, let's start the Ruben Amorim press conference reaction. Ruben Amorim press conference. Here we go. For the Everton game. Oh, no, that's not Ruben Amorim. Fuck's sake. That's Ruben Van Nistelrooy. What are we doing here, man? Seriously, get out here. Ruben Amorim press conference reaction. There we go. That's what we want. For Everton. Here we go.
So you can run. Your first away game, you've done your first home game in the Europa League. What are you expecting from your first home Premier League match against Everton?
Win. I'm hoping to win. It's going to be a different match with a lot of fighting, long balls, second balls, a quality coach that understands the league, understands the moment of the opponent. We need to have the ball because we will have a short time to recover. We need to rotate the team. So I'm hope for a win, and I hope to see different things in my team improve like we did from Ipswich to now with Everton without training. But I expect to see different things and better things. Richard.
Hi, Ruben. I want to ask you about Yoga Bello. Obviously, a big difference tonight. I want to see, and he's with United compared to season last season. I want to see what you kind of been looking forward to working with him. What can you?
He used to get 700 people on their live stream. Now he can barely get 100 people in because YouTube was waxing over. Yeah, I agree. Michael asked you a question about the countdown and how to add it. Oh, did he? Right, okay. I'll message him then on Twitter.
Can he be a big part of this system as going back?
Yeah, it's very powerful. We have to rotate him sometimes because he looks like always fresh, but it's not like that. It's not a machine. I think he plays.
Dano, to me, he's not quite been as good this season as last season.
Better on the right, and we will manage to put him also on the right. But he's a very good player, very powerful, that can play both sides. Nowadays, a player that can play both sides is like it's perfect because you can put him in different positions. So I expect the same that last year that you saw. A great player that can help the team, and he's really a team player. And you can feel it in every play, the way he lives the game. So it's very important for us.
Jeremy, hi Ruben. If you everyone understands you've got a difficult job coming in midway through the season, how can you compensate for the lack of time? Can you maybe do? I know you don't have much time because well, can you maybe do double training sessions or more videos? Is there any way you can sort of speed up the process, or is it just impossible?
No. Football. I was a football player.
Process. There you go. That journalist has mentioned the word process.
A football players' videos more than 12 minutes, forget. They will lose the concentration. So we have to work on, imagine there's in indoor stadium, we have that, we do, instead of video, we do it like walking and jogging. It's a way to do it, showing some videos. Then we have all the stuff that, for example, Carlos is with the strikers, they will show individual moments. So we'll try to cope with that. Everybody has a job in the staff, and they are more important maybe than me. So that's it. Trying to see the game, what is missing. They are very good players. They need to believe, and we will show individual stuff, team stuff, and work. If you cannot run, you can jog and make the same exercise. Of course, it's not the same, but you can manage to try to win time in 2 games.
Rob,
does this look then sum up how tough it's going to be for you in these first few weeks? That you've got no time to work the players, you're asking them to take a lot of new information, and on Sunday you're going to play an Everton team who have had the entire week to prepare and look at how your team play.
Yeah, it is what it is, and we will rotate players, and we will be ready. Today we have to use like 4 subs to manage the fitness, not the game. We manage the fitness today, so we have to do it. We already know that it will be like that, so no excuse. We should be ready to Sunday, and we have to win.
In terms of like athleticism, you said that you want to be better athletes. Is it possible for a player you can see them to be able to make that step?
No, without training, you have to use the games. I felt, I don't know, but because I have to see the game, but I felt that we press a little bit higher and all the time. And Mason Mount did 60 minutes with high intensity. Rajmos was dead in the end. So the guys that are playing, they have to push more. Push the guys to the limit. And the other guys have to train tomorrow. Luke Shaw did some minutes, and then he's going to train now because we are 3 days. We can do today some things that tomorrow we cannot do, and we manage with all the staff trying to figure it out, some ideas to cope with that.
last 2 questions, Paul, Carl.
Hey Ruben, you mentioned Mason Mount there, but the club invested a lot of money in him last summer. But
Mason Mount, my goodness me. How many times has this guy been injured at Manchester United? I mean, I lost count, man. He hardly got injured at Chelsea. So what's going on? It's got to be the coaching staff and medical staff, surely.
the reason it didn't work out for him last year. Have you seen enough promise from him in this couple of weeks that shows that he can be a part of your team moving forward?
First thing is working really hard, and then you have to understand the human also. He wants this really bad, and that is the most important thing. I think he proved to all of you that he's a talented player.
Loving boxes.
Get out here, man.
Media, all times of the day to
Fucking hell.
Day 6. Imagine being times play 4.
You have 4 brains, not 1 brain.
Player. He was European champion also. So we believe a lot in him. He has to stay fit. And like I said, like all the guys in the team, they are quality players. They have to improve, believe in themselves. And today he did a great job. And you see some moments and details that you can see that Mason Mount is a proper footballer. So we believe a lot in him. I especially believe a lot in Mason Mount.
Sounds like Ruben Amorim is a fan of Mason Mount. Interesting.
Last question, Carl.
You using wing backs throughout your managerial career, which is something you know traditionally used to be. Can you help explain what you necessarily want from your players when they're out in those wide positions, and how that might be different to what they might be used to seeing?
Today, if I ask you guys what system I use, you saw more 4-4-2 defending. I think we agree, and then we put 2 white players like the 20 teams of the of the league. So but you have to change the characteristics. Dalo and Malassi are more defenders because they defend in the back four, and today Ahmad and Tony, they defend like a winger and stay open. So what I want is a good 1-against-1 to open the field, to play, to close the field when we lose the ball. So it's the same in every team. So I think the structure is more fluid than you guys think, like 3 defenders. Today, we finished without any central back. So it was Casemiro, Mazraoui, and Luke Shaw. So I think it's more the characteristics of the player and not the real position of the player.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ruben, will you have your centre backs back?
There you go. So, yeah, very interesting. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, so it sounds like to me, Ruben Amorim is a huge fan of Mason Mount. He speaks very highly of him. Is he doing that because he's a fan of him, or is he doing it to keep the media off his back? But either way, that's very interesting indeed. But, let's listen to this reaction now. Because apparently, Mark Goldbridge did an interview. So if Michael.Chelsea FC is listening to this, here it is. But yeah, Everton, I think it will be a tough game. I really do. Because at the moment, they're not playing some bad stuff, and Sean Dyche is a decent manager. Right, let's... Oh, 58 minutes. Okay. Mark Goldbridge, my content was toxic. Man United fan cams. We're being 0-0. Yeah, I'll message him on Twitter, Danny Knight 14. He probably asked me when I stopped watching his stream earlier, but I'll message him on Twitter about it. Here we go. Mark Goldbridge, I have regrets. Everton are rubbish.
Today's interview
Here we go.
was requested by our members and our subscribers after a long discussion last week on who they wanted me to interview. It was a drawn-out affair, but there was one clear winner, and that was Mark Goldbridge. It was an honest and open discussion with Mark, with many questions and many accusations put to him about his role in the Man United fan base. This channel has always been open to fans groups to come on here, along with fan channels. If anyone feels as though they've been targeted or affected by the views what are expressed in this video, you have a right to reply. And that reply, you can come on our channel and have an open and honest discussion. Thank you very much. Welcome back to the Webby and O'Neill channel. With me today is Mark Goldbridge from the United Stand. Pleasure to have you on, Mark. I know it was a rush job. We phoned you a couple of days ago, and I'm really appreciative you coming as quickly as you have done.
No, look, I'm really, really happy to be on. I do watch the channel when I can. That's probably one of the only ones I do watch, to be fair. So, no, good to be on, and it'll be very interesting because I know we sort of have different communities, but there's a bit of a crossover, hopefully.
Yes, let's hope so. Now, I've got a few questions here, but I'm just going to start off with a soft one for you, Mark. Now, listen, you're the biggest YouTube channel considering with United fans over, well, nearly 2 million, is it?
Yeah, not far off yet. Yeah.
Nearly 2 million. Well, I'm going to start off softly with you, and then I'm going to get into some right deep questions with you, and hopefully you'll be able to answer them, and everyone will be happy with the answers. Now, what's a day in the life of Mark Goldbridge? Because I know you're busy, so what's it like, Mark? Waking up, going to bed?
I mean, it depends what day it is. If it's a match day, it's not too bad actually, because we've got the studio in Manchester and they do a lot of the stuff before and after, and I just, literally do the watch along these days. But a normal day would be get up, take the lads to school, and then we've got the morning show at 10 o'clock. So just think about the news, have a read of the news over breakfast, do that show. Then we normally have a 2 o'clock show, and then there's an 8 o'clock show. But in between that, there's podcasts. That's Football Channel. Might do a bit of computer. I'm still doing FIFA computer game stuff as well. So yeah, just constantly doing stuff. Yeah, but I love doing it. I mean, the day I don't like doing it, I'll just stop.
Well, listen, that's the way to do it, Matt. Do it while you enjoy it, and then one day, I've had enough.
Yeah.
Off you go.
Yeah,
a lot of work there, Matt. Now, I've got to turn round to everyone. I've got some right deep questions here to ask Mark, and I'm going to start with this one, Mark, right? And it is the elephant in the room. Okay,
could be a lot of these.
Yeah, there might be, but it is the elephant in the room because I see it all over the place ever since I've known you. This question always comes up. Are you a Nottingham Forest fan?
Well, I'm not going to give you an exclusive, Tony, on here, but it'd be good if you did.
Yeah,
tell you what, I'd get a lot of views.
I'd love it.
No, I mean, basically, we've known each other for years anyway. But my granddad got me into United. He was obsessed with Duncan Edwards specifically, but the Busby Babe. So he was a builder. So I used to get home from mum and dad separated when I was about 7. So my gran used to.
Now, he's definitely a Nottingham Forest fan, but he's not going to come out and admit it because he doesn't want to upset his community. I mean, let's get it right here.
Pick me up when was at work. So you get in, especially this time of year, autumn.
Yeah,
can't be building when it's dark, can you? So he'd be sat there with his dinner on the lap at 4 o'clock when I was getting in. And in those days, it was VHS videos, wasn't it? So he'd have like the story on United or Bobby Charlton's story or this, that, and the other. So, you're 5, 6, 7 years of age. It's very impressionable to, and obviously in those stories, you Munich would be part of it.
Yeah.
So I liked football, but then you'd be like, this football club's like more than a football club. It's like a story of like, you'd have the tragedy and you'd see the plane and then you'd see what happened when Best came through. So I sort of grew up with that, but obviously I grew up in Nottingham as well.
Yeah.
So my dad did take me to a few games when I was younger, but funnily enough, my dad's a Chelsea fan. So, but no, it came from my granddad. I mean, he was the biggest influence on my life because when my mum and dad separated, we moved in with them for about 2 years, and he
Seems like Grandad, he's a Manchester United fan. He is the reason why I support Manchester United as well.
He'd bloody manage a team down the park. He would. He loved football. So he used to manage Sunday, Saturday teams. He'd use my Sabutio to get my two uncles in to go through the tactics. So I grew up with it, and he just loved Manchester United.
Do you think this is mentioning Nottingham Forest? And to be honest with you, the reason why I've asked you is it what people use to batter you down, to like have a go, and they think, right, I've got something on his, and it's because they don't like you, they're jealous, they're things like that. So they always keep coming back to, he's a Nottingham Forest fan and all this, and like, he doesn't know the culture of Man United. He's never supported United like the way I've done, or the way I've done, or he's done, or anything like that. So the Nottingham Forest thing will always keep coming back at you, surely.
Yeah, I think because the United stands become so popular, and I'm not from Manchester, I sort of get that. But what I don't get about it is that Man United is a massive club. It was a massive club in the 50s. My granddad's from Nottingham, and he loved them not because of what happened with the tragedy, but because they won the league as a bunch of kids. They captured the imagination of the country. You had Dudley, Duncan Edwards, Sir Bobby was up from the northeast. Man United has always had that appeal outside of Manchester. Now, for me, I love coming to Manchester. I love meeting, Manchester United fans, match-going fans. Their experience is always going to be different to mine. If you're from Manchester or if you're going matches home and away, there's something that's very different to that. But what I believe we should do, and what the United stand does, is actually we're all one. Now, you and I know this fan base ain't like that, is it? You know, that it's not, whether it's the Man United Supporters Trust or other groups, people want their own pie. But for me, I look at it and I go, it's about community. And we've got our community. We're the only channel, we've got your community. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. I've always looked at every United fan. They're a Man United fan, so we're all a family. But unfortunately, there's people out there, and it is a stick. What's to buy you? You accept it. I understand it. Now, going on further, I've got to get on to how do I describe this? Ex-United players, media, and everything else. Yeah. Call it out. But I'm gonna quote Paul Parker. You have no relationship with Man United. Basically, all you're there for is to profit from it. What do you say to people like Paul Parker, ex-United players, coming out and sort of saying, you're not a United fan?
Oh, now this one's going to be very interesting.
Just here for the money.
The ironic thing about that is I think Paul Parker was doing an article for some irrelevant, never heard of betting brand when he did it. And they probably were trying to get exactly what they got. They probably said, what do you think about Mark Goldbridge? And Paul Parker probably went, who is he? And then they went, this. Can you say that? I mean, I don't blame Paul Parker for saying it. I mean, Paul Parker, I remember him in Italia 90, I remember at United. But one, he won't understand this world. And two, who is he to say what a Man United fan is? I mean, look, we see it in the modern day, don't we? I grew up loving certain players. And I know a couple of them in real life are probably a couple of, you know, not the nicest people. Yeah. Your legends on the pitch aren't necessarily, you know, switched on or off the pitch. Some of them are fantastic. But there's plenty of players at the moment that many United fans watching this would go, I don't want them in the club. So I'm not. There's probably 2 or 3 United legends that I would listen to, and the rest of them, their opinion's no better than yours. It's no better than anyone watching this. In fact, yours is probably better because you're a United fan. Are these people really United fans, or did they come here for the money? But I'm not going to deflect that back. I mean, it's like the Forest fan thing, isn't it? It's just they say it to try and rile you or demean you because ultimately they're probably jealous
themselves. Yeah. Now, listen, I've got to go on because it caused the storm. You interviewed Hoyland.
Yeah, nearly a year ago, yeah.
Yeah, nearly a year ago. And it did create a storm, death threats, everything else like that. But it's claimed out there in social media that you're provided with favourable, if you provide favourable PR for certain players, okay, you tend to get these interviews. Did that happen with Hoyland?
No, I mean, obviously Ten Hag's gone now, but there was this sort of social media thing where we were being paid by SEG, which is the agency that was in charge of Ten Hag. I always said, look, I know of 3 or 4 top journalists who were trying to get this story, and I said because people close to me were saying that they're fishing around, and I was like, well, let them fish. Yeah, they're not going to catch anything. I mean, I've got no problem being asked it, and I've got no problem answering it. But we've never taken payment from anybody. What happened with Rasmus was that he followed me on Instagram because I do the computer game stuff. So, I mean, Rasmus is what, 21? I've been doing that for probably 7 years. So he might have been like 13, 14 watching that.
That's right.
So he followed me before he came to United, and then we got linked to him. And I got in contact with him and said, oh, would you be interested in doing an interview? This was when he was at Atalanta. And he said, no, but if I do come to United, I'll do it. So then about 6 months after that, I was like, would you fancy doing the interview? And then it went, I mean, God, it took so long for United to do it. And to be fair, the people at United were really good. They did facilitate it, but it took absolutely ages. And then when he did it, it was sort of like, it did really well for our community. But then you had lots of people saying the players told him not to do it, and then he apologized for it. And I was just like, and then we got all the death threats and stuff. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. It was actually a really good interview, but you can't probe them as much as you like.
No, we know that.
But yeah, that's how it came.
Well, I'm going to probe you, Mark, you know, because a lot of people after that were sort of saying he's doing good PR for certain players. He's changed his attitude and everything else like that. So you came under a lot of heat from what I seen and what people was telling me. Can you confirm that you have no relationship with any players' agents?
Yeah,
because on the back of the Highland one, you was attacked. I was always like, he's got this, he's talking well of this player, and he's going to do another interview and that. So the story you've just told me is the more in line because you've got a relationship with players' agents.
I'm just trying to think. I've never had any contact with a player's agent at all. In the whole time I've been doing it, I have spoken to players, and I don't think that's uncommon in this world. If you think about Angry Ginge, and people like that, they're probably followed by 50. You know, look at the Sidemen, people like that. I'd say 75% of footballers on Instagram are following KSI or someone like that, and it wouldn't be uncommon in the mod. I mean, maybe people don't realise this, but it wouldn't be uncommon for those players to be exchanging DMs every now and again. You know, so that's sort of like I've had that sort of contact with players, but
ever had dinners with them?
Nothing like that.
No. People out there will be asked.
Yeah, I mean,
if you've had contact.
What I'm trying to say is, I think the way the world is now, and I'm sort of a little bit slow on it myself, is that they're almost mates with them. The players are almost mates with some of these younger, big influencers. For me, it would be, yeah, I'm professional in what I do. If I've never been told anything about team news or anything like that, I wouldn't put it out there if I did. So, but it's a new world, Tony. I think this is not. I'm sure the club would like it not to be happening, but the reality is, how do you control social media?
Very, very hard, isn't it? I'm going to hit on a player here now. Very controversial.
I mean, yeah. How do you control social media? It's difficult, isn't it?
In many ways, to be honest with you, with his form, with his off-field antics and everything else like that. But you caused a big stir. I think he caused the biggest stir by reacting to what you do on your YouTube channel. That's Marcus Rashford. He actually posted a comment on one of your tweets, and I'll read it out here. And he said, "Please stop spreading malicious rumours."
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember that, actually. He did call him out. Number 10 did call out Mark Goldbridge.
Now, for a player to come out and sort of like accuse you of spreading lies and everything else like that, how did that? What was your reaction to it? Because that's pretty. He's up there. He's up there in the PR world and everything, and he's attacking you, Mark, your channel. You know, malicious lies. I mean, that's pretty damning. That.
I mean, it's disappointing. I mean, look, ultimately, what I would say is that I would love Marcus Rashford to play good football for Man United and score goals, because that's all that matters. I don't really care what he's like as a person. That's the bottom line. But in relation to that situation, actually, I think he did try and reach out to his agent there, but got nothing back to sort of like say, "Come on, yeah, this is a guy who's getting book deals, doing charity work, and you're replying to something out of context." And look at the shitstorm it's caused. And all right, 75% of people are going, "Go on, Rashford, well done." But 25% are going, "What are you doing?" And also, I said, we're not the Sun, we're not TalkSport. Have you looked at what they're saying today? What the video was and the thumbnail was Rashford's future in doubt? ? Is that malicious? I mean, he was playing awful at the time. His future in the team,
diverting the attention by using you.
And what? I mean, and why go after the United stand? Why not go after another YouTube channel or a website or TalkSport, something like that? I think it was a little bit. Either it was really naive and silly, which is concerning for a Man United player, or it was calculated to try and cause us trouble. But either way, I'm sort of like, this is probably one of the biggest earners and reputation players at Man United. And you're getting involved in a Twitter thing like that.
Why was he bothered?
Just leave it. And if he is bothered, that's even more worrying about how the mentality of the modern player.
Oh, well done, Kai. Congratulations to you, mate. Big up to you, mate. And don't worry about the Capitals. It's fine. Yeah, he is sometimes, mate. I agree.
But that, I mean, look, if you're going to get, ultimately, that was not about booting him out or anything. It was about he's not playing well. He's actually going to take his place, etc.
Has this sort of like spat with Marcus Rashford? Has this caused you to change how you do content on players?
To be honest, I think after that with Rashford, a lot of our community has said, "Oh, Goldbridge is scared of saying anything about Rashford," and I'm like, "Well, you haven't seen."
Well, that's right. That's why I'm pulling you, Mark, because it's what people say, and that's why I've got you here. Because the United fans are saying, "Oh, he's changing his content, his attitudes change towards certain players, and that." And the Marcus Rashford thing, it was a big thing in the United community. So.
But the thing that I'd say to that is that we do a match reaction after every game like you do, and we'll do player ratings, and I very rarely give him, an average. It's normally below average, and to be honest, if he doesn't work under Amorim, then why would he not be moving on for his own good? So look, I like every player to be treated the same. And one of the big problems with United is, and I'll say this, is that certain players in that football club have had too much power for too long. Hopefully, Sir Jim Radcliffe and Ineos are going to change that, and Amorim, because if we continue down the route of the last 5 years, there's players in that club who were too powerful, that goes hand in hand with us not being a very successful club.
I think people out there might say the last 10 years, not 5, Matt. Yeah. But Rashford, can you confirm? I like this question. Can you confirm you've had no contact whatsoever with his agents?
Yeah, nothing. No, we did reach out to them after that to say, look, let's have a grown-up conversation because this has been taken completely out of context. Blanked.
Right. I'm going right in on you here now, Mark. Proper in on you. TalkSport. Just mentioned it there. It's seen as anti-Man United. And to be honest with you, obnoxious at times. And I mean obnoxious towards Manchester United, constant this, constant slagging them down, you name it, a lot. Does my head in, to be honest with you. The amount of abuse what comes out of these people's mouths on TalkSport, people phoning up and everything. Now, you work for them, man. Well, I worked. No, this is what I'm saying. How could you go and work for them knowing that United fans, right, hate TalkSport? Not every United fan, but a lot of them see TalkSport, right, as anti-Man United all day, every day, any chance they get. But you decided
big up to you, Kai. Thanks for joining me, mate.
At times towards Manchester United.
Look, the answer to that is that
Money?
Not
me saying that, Matt. These are the questions what have come into us, as if to say, yeah, we'll do anything for money. This has been thrown at you loads of times. I know that, right? But people don't understand why you went on there when you've got your own channels. One, you didn't need them. You've got your own profile. You've got everything out there. Why would you go on at what people look at and say that's anti-Man United? Well, Matt Goldbridge is anti-Man United. You see how the two sort of go together?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's I'm not bothered about answering it. I mean, if it wasn't financial. I stopped doing my 8 o'clock show on a Saturday night to do that, and would earn 4 times what I got from TalkSport. So it wasn't financial. And I used to call it talk shit before, and I call it talk shit now, and they still gave it me. What happened is, basically, there was a guy who.
I agree. Absolutely, at times it's shite.
Was like second in command there, and he sort of was waking up to the whole social media world. And if you look at TalkSport now, it's basically a rip-off of everything what we're doing, you're doing. 100%. So I sort of went in and I was like, well, what's the project? And they said it's a Saturday night call-in from 7:30 till 9. And I said, well, can I do it from home with my own equipment that we get? So I did it for 2 years. And the reason I did it was because, one, I suppose it was a bucket list thing to have your own radio show. But 2, I wanted to try and change the way things were. I wanted to get in to having chats with people like Simon Jordan and stuff like that. And after about the first 12 months being fobbed off, I sort of realised that was never going to happen, which is why I left at the end of last season, because I was like, this isn't doing anything for me. That, I was on the show, and then another show, you'd have Danny Murphy slagging me off.
I think you made the right decision there, mate, to the TalkSport respects.
For Andy Goldstein slagging me off, and I basically just said, this is what I thought it was. So I mean, I never did any shows with anybody else. I just had my own call-in show. But I do regret it. But then if you don't try,
I know you've got to try things, but Was it your ego sort of going on there, wanting to mix with the likes of Simon Jordan and all that? Because it certainly wasn't helping. I don't think it.
Simon Jordan is very controversial at times. He really is. I mean, the amount of words what comes out that guy's mouth is, oh my goodness me, man, shocking.
Was helping your profile on United stand. So people have said it's his ego, he's getting on there, he wants this, he wants that, because the money's not the thing, what you say. I just don't understand. Before you went on, yes, you spoke with someone, but knowing how obnoxious they are towards Man United, and you know that when you went on there, they were calling you still rotten, but you took it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Is it a regret?
It is the regret, and I think I look at it now, and I look at what they're doing now, and I think they've took a lot of what we're all doing, and they're trying to do it in a very fake way. And I've been very public about that. But look, you make mistakes. It was a mistake to go on there.
Yeah.
It wasn't for money. It was more about having a call. Having a call-in show. I quite like the call-in aspect of it. I mean, I do. I don't listen to it, but I quite look.
It was something you tried out.
Tried it and it failed. Yeah. At the end of the day. And
yeah. So there you are. He tried it. It failed.
And since we stopped doing it, it's better.
Yeah, it's better. Well, you've not.
The mainstream's crap anyway, isn't it? It is.
Listen, the legacy media is absolutely atrocious, especially at this moment in time. I'm going to get onto this. I've been sort of dreading it, but anticipating it as well. But looking forward. After match reactions, Mark, on your channel, topic of debate amongst many United fans. I mean, I've got loads of things to say about it. I'm going to try and keep it level-headed. Your after-match reactions, Mark, one of the most toxic things United fans have seen. It turned people against you. It turned hate against you. These people, what were on there? How did it start? And how did these people get on there week after week after week? Was there a sort of a profile you had to go for, a strategy? I had to get these people on so they can shout and bawl and act silly and just slag everything down, because that's what it seemed like. Did you profile these people deliberately and keep them on week in, week out, so you could then get more clicks? Yes, that's what YouTube's about, getting more clicks and that. But these people, was it for the football ability, or was it just for shouting and bawling?
We're talking about fan cams, aren't we?
Yeah.
Outside Old Trafford. I think, where it all started, I don't like them. And everyone's got every right to say, well, you did it. And it's easy to say that afterwards. But I never liked them. I don't like them. And I was more than happy to stop doing them. But what basically happened is that, AFTV,
yeah,
they're very successful. We're at it, and it works really well for that football club. Basically, Robbie got in contact with me, and he was like, "Why aren't you doing this?" Because I've always got on with Robbie quite well from AFTV. And I said, I just can't bother to do it. I don't think it. Full-time Devils were doing it with Makola, weren't they?
Yeah.
And he was like, "You should be doing that. Your channel is getting bigger than theirs. You should be doing that." And I was like, I just can't be asked to set it all up and everything like that. And he said, "Well, my cousin Flex, he's a Man United fan. He'd love an opportunity like that." So I was sort of like, "What's on the plate here? Let's give it a go." So Flex started coming up, and in the early days, it was all right. It was. I mean, we used to be out here with you sometimes, didn't we? And
yeah.
I'd come up to some games and do it.
Oh yeah, Flex. He's now on the United View. He started his own YouTube channel.
And there was people who didn't like it, but it wasn't that bad. And then I sort of left it to that. I'm not absolving myself of blame, because ultimately I'm the face of the United stand. So Flex very much did the whole fan cam thing, and I'd do all the watch along and everything like that. And that was the way it was working. And then it was getting to a point you'd get 12 fan cams, and I'd say, we're only putting 6 of them up. And it'd be like, why is that then? I'd say, because the other 6, what were they doing before they went on? Smacking themselves around the face, ready to go, sort of thing. And it started to become a little bit too
toxic,
obvious that these people were almost planning it even before the game, what they were going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few that spring to mind that were they went viral, and I suppose one or two were funny, but and you see it now. Like what I hated about the Ten Hag thing is I don't mind anybody being Ten Hag out. I wasn't, but you know, the bold fraud and this, that, and the other, or I'm going to beat you up, or so. I just like what is that? And anyway, COVID came round. Somebody from the Red Army got in contact with me and said, "Look, you know, we don't like fan cams," and I think they were expecting me to go, "Well, we're doing them," and I went, "You know what? I don't." And this is COVID, and it's actually a really good opportunity that when fans come back in the ground, we're not going to do it. I said, all we are going to do is that the people who work for us will just do a match reaction, but they're regulars. We're not going to, and that was it. And we stopped doing it because it was becoming pantomime. And I think Paddock or Full Time Devils, they've stopped doing it now as well. And I respect and understand that, but then there are still people doing it. But it's had its day, Tony. It's WWE wrestling. It's like that's what it is. I don't mind someone standing outside the ground who's watched the game, watching your match reaction, my match reaction, or whoever else, but holding a microphone outside.
One of the things out there on social.
Yeah, I mean, I get where it's coming from. I think that is a bit out of date now. But I do like do my own match reaction though, you know, after the game, you know, talk about the match 100%. Absolute 100% I do.
Social media, when you go to the match and all that, a lot of people talk about the fan cams and all that, and what they don't like. A lot of match going Reds. One of the reasons why the hatred was towards him, and sometimes violence was towards him, is because they just didn't regard him as United fans. They were actors, and you sort of just alluded to something there where you said they were preparing what to say before the game had even started. Well, you become a mini celebrity very quickly, don't you? Is that what them people were doing? Because they've gone on from there, doing their own things and using what you created on your channel, and that they studied what you did and have gone and used it. Actors. Is that the right word? What United fans have accused them of being? That fan reaction. I don't know. I think it's a good point. I don't think it was premeditated, but when I look at some of the people that were on the United stand, and I look at what they're doing now, and I look at what they were at the start, and then what they were at the end, I think at some point they were just turning up and talking about United, and then a light switch went, I can take this to another level. And I certainly think that, look, respect anybody who's doing content. I don't care whether they hate me or not. Anyone who's doing content, it's difficult, and it takes dedication, and it takes a talent. And these people clearly have it. But I do think
putting out content every day can be a bit of a challenge, but I love it. That's why I've been uploading every day on this channel ever since April or May 2021. I haven't stopped ever since. I put out video every day.
that knowing what those people were like at the start and what they are now, how is it that 5 or 6 people have all had a personality transplant? Like they've changed what they're doing, like we were mentioning before, you know, the Sidemen or anybody else. That you change as you go through because you realise this is what people want, or this is what's going to get me clicks. And you know, I'm no different to that in the sense of when I started. I've probably gone the other way. I think my early content was probably toxic, but the last 4 years,
Possibly.
well, yeah, it probably was, yeah. But then again, there was a reason to be toxic. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Whereas I think what happened with me is you get older, and also I'm tired of sacking managers. I don't want to be saying sack this manager or anything like that. And that's how I've evolved. Whereas I look at some people, are like, they're still stuck in that.
Well, I was going to come on to that. Your channel, the way it was and the way it is now, you've sort of mellowed. There's not as much. How can I say? Hyper screaming and I want this, I want him, I want this and that. You're sort of like having a conversation, not just with the audience, but with yourself. And you seem to have changed. You know, that, like you say, that goes with age, you know what I mean? Learning, understanding what's around you. And also when people like put a knife in your back or close to you and all that, and you learn lessons, you know what I mean? But I just want to touch back on the fan channels. I've got to say this from a toxic point of view, and it wasn't just your people doing the fan cams. I mean, I witnessed like angry scenes, Mark, after the game.
See, this is the thing. People still comment on my YouTube Shorts video where I called out the United stands and that. They think I'm actually attacking the channel. No, I was just giving my own opinion on it. So I expect some people think, oh, you're toxic, this and that. Whatever. But I'm not attacking the channel, okay? It's just me having my own opinion on it.
Things and that towards them outside. Well, we're in here now at Hotel Football, and a lot of the times, what I witnessed outside here, there was a lot of pushing, shoving, threats made, and all that, and it was an ongoing thing. But it's sort of like I could see the worry in, like Flex, for instance, and other people, what was on there and that, and it did cause a division. And like you say, you ended it. You wasn't comfortable with it, and it was the right thing to do.
No, and I think, it's like anything, isn't it? If it's like the boy who cried wolf, if you do it once or twice, people might turn up, and then the third time, it's the opposite of that, isn't it? I think it's not the same as what it was, and people don't like it. So if you keep doing it, and then you get crap for it, you can't really moan about it because people have had their say on it. We don't do it anymore because people had their say on it, and we're like, we don't like it, and I didn't really massively like it, so we don't do it. And another channel doesn't do it, but those still doing it, they can't cry sympathy if people don't like it.
Well, you can't cry sympathy because you have caused a few ructions in your time, and that's from other YouTubers, other YouTube channels, and you engaged in a battle long ago, a battle of words, calling out other channels run by media companies. Now, you did cause a stir. I remember it at the time a few years ago. And you actually turned around to these YouTubers and said, shame on them for being run by media companies. Can you expand on what that war of words was and what it was all about?
I presume it's been a long time ago now, but when we started the United Stand, we obviously started, I think it was once a week on a Sunday night. It was me, Kev, and a couple of other people. I would just on a Sunday night, we would just have a chat and go live. But there was other channels around at that time, one of which was Full Time Devils, which is not caused anymore. And I found out that that they were working out of an office with a Man City channel.
Oh, right.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and it was owned by Fremantle.
Wow, that's mad. That's crazy.
I think it was, which was the company that sort of did X Factor or something. So it was just easy, when we started, I was just very much about, I suppose it's a bit like the 90s when you had football and remember like TFI Friday with Chris Evans and the music scene. It was all just very anti-establishment, wasn't it? And I was like, well, football's anti-establishment. So it was like it was just easy when we started to go, we're a real channel. We're run by the fans. Them lot over there. Okay. They're media. They're in a bloody office with Man City. So, yeah, they're being paid by this. So
easy target.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at what we were just talking about them and the real stabbing in the back that's gone on, I don't look at Full Time Devils or any. I mean, I'm sure they hold a grudge against me, but for me, that was pantomime. It was like they were bigger than us at the time.
Yeah.
We're coming for them,
Very interesting.
Well, I've never seen them have a good word about you,
man. No, they won't do it. It probably, they should have been and maybe COVID had a part to play in it.
Now, I just want to skip this bit where it says Mark Goldbridge regrets and lessons learned. On the lessons this bit.
Because it was a scary time for the world. It's just made me realise, where I am as a content creator and where I am as a fan, and then they're in tune. Whereas I think the early formative years, it's almost like being a footballer, isn't it? It's like you have your teens, early 20s, and then you hit your prime, and then your mature years. And I think, we've covered a lot of the regrets. I could list them down. Like, I wish I hadn't done that. Wish I hadn't worked with them. Wish I hadn't said that, etc. But I don't really have any regrets over the last 3 years. I think it's been the most enjoyable the United Stand's ever been, and hopefully that can continue. But I think you've got to go through. You've got to make mistakes to get where you are.
Oh, that's true of life. You have to make mistakes,
and we did make a lot.
Well, when you're making mistakes, Mark, you have to learn from him. Clearly, you've learned from him. I want to touch on Sir Jim Ratcliffe. We're coming up to a year.
Right, so I think he's being very honest with himself in this interview. So fair play, yeah. I haven't been his biggest fan recently, but absolutely outstanding the way he was answering them questions. So a real honest interview. So well done, Mark. Fair play to you. No matter what you think of Mark Goldbridge, he's still one of the biggest YouTubers out there who has built a good channel, has built his community. I haven't always agreed the way he's gone about it, but well done to him. You know, he's earning a living. So anyone who's seen that, big up to you, yeah? Good luck. I wish you all the best if you're doing it as a business and that. Yeah, because even though we may not be the biggest fans, it's like he's doing something for a living, so big up to him, yeah? Right, I am going to be wrapping this up now, people. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back on here tomorrow with my match reaction for the Manchester United and Everton game. Then I'll be back for an emergency meeting in the evening. Then I will be doing an player ratings on Monday. So match reaction tomorrow, emergency meeting tomorrow, then Monday player ratings. Chelsea links with another kid is 20 years old. Can't continue. I have enough signings, more kids. This can't continue. I've had enough. Yes, I am, mate. I am going to watch the F1 tomorrow. Absolutely, mate. I'm going to watch Liverpool against Man City as well. I'm looking forward to that game. I think Liverpool are going to win easy, to be honest, but we'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, like I say, whether you love or hate Mark Goldbridge, you have to say fair play for doing this interview, yeah? And I will give him credit for that. 100% give him credit. So Max Verstappen in the F1 has been given a one-place penalty. So that means George Russell is on pole and Max is second now. Do another video on Chelsea. I will do at some point, 100%, but not right now, though. Because like I said, I'm not going to keep doing videos on rivals because I don't want to become one of them YouTubers. I don't mind doing that on the odd occasion, but not very often. Anyway, thanks for watching. Good night, all.